Using Common Strategies for Aggression, SPED 6606 by LaWanda Crane. Background information: the participating student is an 8-year-old male third grader who is showing autistic aggressive behaviors. The student is in a co-taught classroom with 22 other students. The participant has been diagnosed with emotional behavior disorder, EBD. Additionally, the student is a very bright student but struggles in knowing how to respond and control his emotions. The problem behavior and replacement behavior are as followed. The student protests any work, activities, and or non-preferred situations that he does not want to complete and or participate in. The student shows non-compliance and off-task behavior by kicking, biting, hitting, and or throwing items. The problem behavior is a result of the lack of interest in the task at hand. It is not a I can't do it situation, but instead a I don't want to do it situation. The goal is for the student to attain to a non-preferred small group and or independent assignments without protesting and remain on task with no task avoidance. The desired non-aggressive behavior will be taught and practiced with the student prior to implementation. Interventions and reinforcers. The intervention will be an antecedent intervention for aggression. Implementing the intervention is to stop the off-task behavior of aggression. The student will be required to complete their assigned task without protest or exhibiting off-task behaviors during a 5-minute period. Each time the student exhibits or shows any aggression, I will be taking tallies to determine the number of times the aggressive behavior occurs during a classroom period. The reinforcers for the on-task behavior and non-aggression are puzzles, Legos, iPad, trains, and coloring sheets. The desired reinforcers were chosen by the student with input from the teacher. By implementing the behavior interventions, I will be able to provide the student with a variety of positive replacement behavior choices and techniques. Frequency and duration. Data will be collected 5 days a week for 10 consecutive days. I will start upon the student's arrival and continue throughout the day. The student will be measured on how long he is able to attain to an assigned task within a 5-minute time period. Each time the student is able to meet that goal, I will increase the time by 2 minutes with a max time of 20 minutes. I'm using a single case line bar graph to record the data, to record the points with a baseline starting at 36%, and it's a total of 19 data points for the student for the 10 consecutive days of data. And the single case bar graph shows the baseline of 36% and the 19 data points the student received before intervention and after. With the data points collection, you see where the student has areas of a decrease in aggressive behavior. With the spikes upward, with the upward spikes, you see that is where the intervention was taking place. In the lower spikes in the graph, you will see that's where the intervention had, for one, not started, and then you go the upward and then you come back down. So those are the spike areas, or the higher areas is where the intervention was in place. And lastly, summary wise, based on the data, I do feel that the student's behavior decreased with the implementation of the interventions and the reinforcers. With the upward spikes, I feel that the student can attain to an assigned task for a minimum of 5 minutes and increasing to a 20 minutes in a classroom period. I also feel that implementing different reinforcers would continue to encourage the student's sustainment with non-preferred items and his behavior getting better over time. Thank you so much.